All right. Hello, hello, and happy birthday. Happy solar return, Libras. Okay, Libras, this is your 6th bonus birthday message as I unveil the new tarot and oracle messages that I'm going to be working with for our October monthlies, guys. Hopefully, I'm actually planning on also getting out your very first monthly message today. Thank you all so much for taking that time to tune in. I hope you have an enjoyable time, okay, during this upcoming October season, as well as into your energy. In this 6th message, which will be your final one, these are cards that I've actually already had, but I'm bringing back around to work with for this spooky time, okay? Beetlejuice spotlighted. The most actually worked, I actually watched a few of the different scenes from Beetlejuice. So it's almost like I kind of want to just kind of talk movies and stuff with you guys rather than some of the things in the out in the world. I don't know, Halloween movies. So interesting enough with the Beetlejuice, Barbara, and the name Barbara. And I don't know if I remember to give you guys the name Gina. And hi, Gina. And then I was like, oh, Barbara is actually Gina Davis. So the name Gina spotlighted a couple times. Hi, Gina. Or someone, I don't know anybody named Gina, honestly. So that's for someone out there, okay? Please keep this in mind, Libras. This is a general message for you sun sign birthday messages. Happy early birthday if you're getting this early, current birthday, or even belated birthday. I give different names, dates, times, zodiac signs, energy throughout. So use your own intuition and discernment. I feel like I always say this in everyone because I don't know if there is new people. I just feel like, that's the whole thing. So actually a lot of Leo with this one, Aquarius, which is interesting, Capricorn and Pisces, Libras, maybe different Libra too. So as Scorpio, of course, let's not forget Scorpio. Now, when I give different dates and times, of course, they could also resonate for just spotlight days for you guys. They can be birthdays, anniversaries, death days, passed on loved ones coming for sometimes. Your last one, I did the trick or treat tarot, and there was that connection. So the name Barbara is there as well. She is also the author. That was your 5th message, and we did something different, and I don't know, it's clearly not going to be for every single person tuning in. But I also pulled the archetypes for you guys for your birthday, and you have the healer over there, and over here now we have the shadow. So it's like we started the very first one, so I will link these in the description box, is the Path of the Shadows. So I think it's going to be actually really fun actually working with things like this, especially with the Universal Monsters Tarot. I'm going to try and incorporate all 3 of these. This one might get longer, guys. Let me tell you some of the dates and times I did see, okay? A lot of Leo energy. Okay, Cancer sign as well. A lot of Cancer sign, I almost forgot. I'm not really getting a little bit. Yeah, there's some Taurus. I'm not getting the Aries energy so much, or even Sag with this one, but that's okay. There's connections throughout your monthly, or excuse me, your birthday messages. I saw 127 Aquarian. There was a lot of different Leo. 807, 803, 809, 730, 731. Pisces and Capricorn, 308 and 115. I don't know where those came from. Libra energy, I saw 1007. So that could just be a spotlight date. A lot of Scorpio, I think 1026, 1024. And then the Beetlejuice, the movie. So I was looking more at it was so weird. So the spotlighted actress here or the person for some reason in this one is Barbara, okay, who is Gina Davis. And my brain immediately jumps to one of her other iconic films of Gina Davis in A League of Their Own with the baseball. There's no crying in baseball. I don't know why. I was like, okay, well, let's just talk about this, I guess. I watched the first scene so Adam is her. So I double checked on the names and stuff, which is Alec Baldwin in the movie, is the so Adam and Barbara are the deceased couple, right? And we talk about the sandworm and Saturn. Okay, And so it was kind of like this really weird thing with the sandworm and understanding the planets of Saturn as well, and the yellow planet. To me, this was, I was listening to this one thing and people were saying, oh, well, that was like a wormhole, or it's Chronos. And I'm like, and time. And I'm like, maybe a little bit, but I think it's also the planet of karma. Like, what do we think of with that movie? Like, all these people are kind of like in that middle. They haven't completely fully, transitioned, I guess, or their spirit hasn't gone to. Usually, one of my favorite characters, I forget though, is also I think she's Juno, the counselor or something. Anyways, guys, we're gonna jump into this Beetlejuice. This is only the second time I have used this. I worked with it last year. I ended up getting it really, really close after, or really close to Halloween or something. I don't know. But then we're also going to get the Stacey DeMarco, the Halloween Oracle. I think I'm going to start with that. Now, the shadow was there. Also, the magnifying glass. The 28th could be spotlighted. The 25th could be spotlighted, right? 9/25, 9/28 for any of you. Or those could be ages even. Doesn't have to be that, though. Also, 2/5 or 2/08. Aquarius energy. 3/13. I saw that again. So, I just give the different dates and times. And 3/08. And sometimes, if you listen throughout, the different dates and times will be spotlighted as well. And the different names, okay? Mike is always there. Mike, Jonathan. This one I'm getting Mike, not just Michael. Of course, Winona Ryder. The other, so the iconic scene was, Day-o. Daylight come and me one go home. Okay? That was kind of an iconic scene. Now, maybe, I did watch the second one. Maybe you guys haven't watched that with Jenna Ortega. I was thinking, I don't know why I'm thinking so much about, like, the movies and the celebrities with you guys. Okay, the name Charlie also did come through, too. Or Charles or something. Chuck. Okay, I'm going to start with the Halloween Oracle, then I'm going to Beetlejuice first. Okay, so Stacey DeMarco's the Halloween Oracle, lifting the veil between the worlds every night. I'm not going to tell you the music this time, guys. Nah, I forgot that. So there's also named Courtney. I did get Cody with the C this time. Maybe Stacy, of course. We've had a few different Stacys. All right, I'm going to bring the camera down. All right, so this is kind of, like I said, it is a bit of an unboxing, unveiling. So I haven't worked with this, of course, since this last year, this season. And you can use this every time. I get like the Ministry song and Owl, like every day is Halloween. And I usually, when I'm finished with the deck as well, I do shuffle it and clear it out and decide it for the next time. So the next time I'm unveiling is for you Libras, for your birthday. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to see. We're going to just check it out. I'm going to shuffle and get a message or two from this, and then I'm going to incorporate also the Beetlejuice story. Hopefully I can also work with the monsters. We have the underworld and the pomegranate. Wow, so this does make me think of where all things pause and begin again. So pomegranate is kind of the season. What's this? This was in there. Let's see what my note is. This is just where I got it at. I said it was from Half Price Books. So that's just my my order. So I think I bought this used, actually, guys. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, it's used. I'm like, I need to clean this off. It's gonna. Okay. But I did have the sage going as well. All right, Libras, where are we gonna put this? I kind of set all of the boxes up to the side. I might set this back over here. And let's start with the underworld and the pomegranate. Wow, this really makes me think actually of Gemini energy, which is interesting, but the underworld, as well as some Taurus energy, Scorpio, of course, Persephone, maybe incorporating pomegranates, or this is the season, of course, where all things pause and begin again. Let's begin with that out of the book here, and then I'm going to pick a spread. Should we do the jack-o'-lantern or just a Halloween 3 card? The birthday messages. Single card. So let's do this. Single card. The 11th, 10-11, Libras. Hello. This is a wonderful way to get a clear and quick message to your specific question or the most important piece of wisdom that you may need to know and heed. This is inspiration and divination in the simplest form. Okay? So, we could also use... Oh, I've been debating bringing the pendulum back in, guys. I haven't worked with it since I think it was, I don't know, June. Pendulum can be made of crystal. Okay. I also like to fan the cards out and use the pendulum. Okay. Okay, so let's read this first one. Answering a question on your mind. I feel like one of the other cards like it showed that I can't remember which deck it was. Maybe it was the last one with someone having the pomegranate. The underworld. Persephone, of course, you know, and Proserpina. We're moving into that time of season. Isn't that interesting? Okay, underworld. Where are you? Here we go. 62 and 63. Okay. There can always be weird synchronicities, and it's not going to play for everyone, but I always do put that out there because I don't know, and that's how I trust. You could be dealing with a Gemini. That's so weird because I said Gemini, and me on a personal level, Libras, because my grandmother, my mother, my uncle have a lot of Geminis. A lot of Gemini was coming forth for you. Now, even if this isn't their exact age or birthday, if that's something, Gemini's energy can also represent, of course, you know, siblings, cousins, stuff like that. 6263, so someone could also be 62 or 63, where all things pause and begin again. Another realm, shadow filled travel with death's bed, where we stop and transform within the realm of the dead. The idea of the underworld, a whole realm that we go to after we die, is a concept that crosses a huge variety of colors, I said, okay, cultures and eras. The Sumerians, the Turkish, the Incas, the Greeks, through to the Siberians, the Maori, and the Khmers, all had a distinct word for the underworld. What is different, though, is how those cultures treat this concept, whether the underworld is seen as a place of rest and rejuvenation, or horror and punishment. The Christian hell is a place of darkness, fire, and punishment. The Egyptian underworld is one of judgment, peace, and renewal. In Maori culture, it is an in-between place of waiting, wisdom, and transition. Many myths that mention the underworld often involve the concept of a place of waiting and of trials and eventually judgment. It can also be a place of joy and peace. Should the underworld card be present today in your reading, you are being asked to consider exactly what you have to do to transform your life into something you find easier or more authentic to you. This may even involve changing course. It may involve trials and tests. Keep moving. Whilst things may fall away and your life may appear bare for a time, this is temporary. Space is being made into which you can create the new. Weird. Maybe something I need to mention for you Libras. I am a fellow Libra, rising sign, sun sign, Venus. However, my Mercury is 0 degrees Scorpio, and we just had Mars move in to the Scorpio energy. Of course, it's my second house. Maybe that's why I do what I do. I don't know. I did see when I was clearing some of the stuff, I saw unexpected money. Maybe something on your, you know, retirement or something, or I don't know. The Christian health. The weirdest thing is, like I was saying with Beetlejuice, my take of that is that leaving that certain space, like, and then going to Saturn or where the sandworms are. Okay, I need to say the name Kevin did come through quite a bit too. to me, that would be considered that would be hell, being transported to Saturn. It makes me think it's like the weird thing with Kevin Bacon and the show Tremors. In the world. Okay, I don't even know why. So there's something here. It's being let go of. So some of the songs I did get actually was like, You Can't Bring Me Down. Okay. And so I'm going to give it to you. I also got this one by Korn, Hater, Hater. It talks about being bullied. You Can't Bring Me Down. Paradigm Shift. Already had my life turned upside down. This makes me think of actually, so there's also Brian, Jonathan, David, Reggie, as part of the people in that band, but makes me think of Virgo. Okay, makes me think of Taurus and Libras. Okay, maybe Aquarius. And Libras, of course, maybe. I'm also getting, so a Cancer sign as well. I get Aquarius. And then we have Jeff Lynne and ELO. And that's the same thing. Don't Bring Me Down. And then the band. I always need to say the band, Suicidal Tendencies, because that's just saying that. And You Can't Bring Me Down. What the hell is going on around here? So there's a lot of heavy energy, and we're going to be looking at the shadow too, right? So someone overcoming some heavy, some feeling betrayed. I mentioned 924. Speaking of the soul shine and 144 God code. And it spoke about even the masculine wound or a father wound. Okay? And it being released. And also a lot of those things. No, in that fifth video, there's a connection. They all can connect. What I saw there. And there was something that this past on loved one or ancestors wanted you to know is they were happy that you were finally doing maybe this, reflecting even on some of this bad stuff that happened in your own childhood, or maybe even seeing how it is even deeper into a past life and seeing the patterns, and this is what's drawn you to try and connect with them, to communicate, or to do this spiritual healing work. Because High Priestess as well. So it was very interesting of understanding those things. Now, if you're all into astrology, I'm going to mention, once again, Lunatic Astrology and Lori's channel. She's an Aries, so you're opposite. A lot of fascinating stuff if you want to tune in there. Understanding Libra, especially Libra risings during the season. So looking at that shadow, underneath that was the sword, the dagger, which represents to me that air sign, that truth. Lightning as well. And then the tear. Okay. So that's the first one, Libras. How interesting. Okay, I'm going to give it a good shuffle for the Libras for their beautiful birthday season. Happy, happy birthday. Happy solar return for all who are tuning in for the highest good for this October. Well, I mean, some of you guys are Octobers for sure, but what's coming up forth for their birthday season. It is your time to shine, of course. The sun. Okay, Libras from the Halloween Oracle. And then we're going to jump into Tarot. Now, I'm going to kind of split it. I don't know why. Sometimes I just do the whole spread. I feel like it's going to be, you and another person, or it could be different messages when maybe one resonates with you and it can switch vice versa. And different tarot decks can communicate to you regarding different relationships, okay? And how you're drawn into them, and if they make you think of that person or some connection. We have the Apple, Risk and reward. Take a bite of that apple. Oh my gosh, the eternal love. Okay, these don't read reversals. The apple blossom, risk and reward, eternal love. Love is love is love, and it transcends physical death. Oh. Now for some of you, no, not all, but it was, for some of you it could have been, a husband or something. No, but regardless, it's also showing that this doesn't have to also be a romantic, but I get like my grandparents are like buried next to each other like this, and they believed in all time and eternity because they were Mormons and things like this, right? But we also understand soulmates and stuff, and even karmic situations. Now, the Akashic Records talked about that a little bit more. I think it was in one of your other videos. I can't remember the second one or something. It was really fascinating understanding those dynamics. The risk of love. Why is it a risk? Because you open yourself up to be vulnerable and to potentially feel pain, hurt. It's not love that hurts. Some people twist that, don't they? It's absence of love that hurts. Wow. Okay. For some of you, the weirdest thing, Libras, I have these little different cards, and it is for like having date night or something in your relationship and stuff like that, and especially through marriage, because spending that time together, the world gets heavy, we get busy, the cortisol, the stress, all these things, and to keep those relationships, and as Libras, I think you understand, but there's also times where that there's a need for you to have your own time and to be independent. That's definitely one of the shadow things, right? And so oftentimes when we trust in another person instead of trusting our own, or let someone else sometimes take the lead, and then they lead us into some type of betrayal or some type of hurt, or they do that, then we're like, that's part of our lesson of learning to also have that independence. I don't know where this is coming from. Okay, underneath the deck we have the graveyard. There's unnecessary fears of death. I think there's unnecessary fears. And we have Jupiter wisdom. Wow. Okay, let me double check the camera, guys. Sometimes, and I apologize, after when I'm reviewing and I'm like uploading, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't have it in line with the camera. You can even see the reflections are screwing shit up, and I can be overly critical, and I could just pause. And I know too many people, Leo, Taurus, I'm gonna say that, who are overly critical of themselves, probably Virgos as well, you even, I don't know, and it stops them from doing anything because they're looking for this perfectionism as well. Okay, so unnecessary fears of the graveyard. I mean, I get a lot of more fun, like the Monster Mash. It was a graveyard smash. So, risk and reward. Let's see what the apple. So it looks like I'm doing a 1, 2, 3. The heart of the issue or the question, the challenge, and the solution. Threefold: birth, death, and rebirth. We are in the realm of Scorpio, guys. Maybe you have this in your chart. You definitely could. Or this is when we move into that Scorpio energy. 12-13. Sag is there again. How interesting. The heart of the issue or the question. Maybe the challenge is about understanding love is love is love. Transcends all physical death. And unnecessary fears. Okay. Or it's a single message for each of you. Okay, let's go to that. Eternal love is there first. It wants to say, no way. So 28 could be very, very spotlighted. Maybe the 28th and 29th even, or being 28, 29. Maybe that's 10/28, 10/29 even, I don't know. But I open it up and there's with the shadow energy. We have the green pumpkin. Love is love, and it transcends physical death. That's where I'm starting, because that's what I open the book to here. When the body leaves us and our souls are above our possessions, no longer nothing remains but the intertwining of love. Okay, I also got the song Alive by P.O.D. I feel so alive. Okay, all of us are the products of millennia of love. Our parents, our ancestors by blood and ritual all have in some way created the DNA that weaves throughout our bodies. Love, in fact, powers life and death. When most of us first encounter death in our lives, we experience grieving too, and in some ways that feeling could be described as an absence of love and the absence of that person or the being. But the kind of love that is often shared between family members, friends, and lovers, separated only by physical death, is the kind that poets wax lyrical about. That is truly eternal and transcends death. Should you choose this card, you are being reminded that love is the most powerful force in the universe. That's the song even. I feel so alive for the very first time. I think there was Marco or something. I will trust in love. Learn from my mistakes. Like I said, it's love lingers. It's more powerful than death itself. It leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring of a partner, it also indicates that a significant love is close at hand, and to be ready to open up to this new experience. Oh my goodness. And we actually saw that with your fifth message, the Ace of Cups, and the Fool, new beginning even. I didn't give you all of the Cancer sign energies too, so it could also be that energy. Okay, keep that in mind. I'm just remembering I didn't tell you all the dates and times that I did see. Okay. Should you choose? Okay, yeah. Okay. It leaves its own legacy, and we should be aware of this every day that we live. For those that are ready for and desiring. Yeah. Okay, I already got that. Okay, let's go to Apple. The Risk. Ancestors are right there too. The 19th. Or 19. Sweetest Icon. Risky Red Desire. Poison and Freedom. Tempting Hearts of Fire. Apples have been a symbol of Samhain. I don't know if I say this right. I don't think I do. Y'all know. All you that are way more witchier than me. All you Wiccans out there. Okay. Samhain. That's how it looks like it's pronounced. For a long time. Apples, when cut in half, have a seed pattern. Yes, that looks like a pentagram. Okay. And so the Celts had held this fruit to be sacred. I have a whole bunch of apples. Bobbing for Apples, the game traditionally played at Halloween, has its origins in Samhain. I don't know. And I need to listen to that and say it right. But I'm just going to read out how it looks to me. It's one of the oldest associations with the celebration. The traditional way to play is place 3 to 13. Wow, 313. I don't know who that is for you guys. But I keep seeing 313 too. Into a barrel of water. And the game is to try and bite an apple whilst it floats and bobs in the water. Hands must not be used, and people often compete with one another, bobbing at the same time. It is believed that the Romans brought the custom to Britain, and there are quite a few images recording through art of this activity in both cultures. It was said that the unmarried women who placed the apple they had bobbed under their pillow would dream of their future husband. Okay. Maybe you've dreamt of them bobbing apples, dude. I've never ever done this in my life, nor do I want to. Maybe you have, I don't know. We had one similar, but it was like hands tied behind your back and eating donuts. Okay, hanging, just like some glazed donuts hang there. So maybe you're looking for some fun Halloween activities, even having a Halloween party or things like this, even a get together. It doesn't have to be. Maybe we used to do them a lot, but probably not. I'll probably just watch me some scary shows and eat candy, but not too much. Because remember, we learned this from Yo Gabba Gabba days. Too much candy gonna make you sick. Yeah, my brain is crazy. Okay. Anyways, let's go here. Candy. Candy apples. Apple on a stick covered in toffee. Ooh, maybe we can do the candy apples or those caramel ones. Although not quite as popular now as they once were as Halloween fare, they are now making a comeback as fun and simple treats to prepare on this night. Now, if you have kids, you know, you do things like this. Or you want to, you know. "2021 is spotlighted, so reflecting on that time. Apples have been iconic. It's so weird because for some reason, whenever we bring this in, the word icon and iconic seems to always be spotlighted, because also when we get to the universal monsters, they're iconic. Okay. Iconic of mythos from ancient times to modern. The story of the poison apple in Snow White, to the Roman goddess Pomona's magical apple tree, to the Christians' tempting fruit in the Garden of Eden. And that is a misconstrued. It was definitely a snozzberry. No, it never says apple. It's all how it was somehow interpreted. And God said that is the tree of that's the forbidden fruit. And the reason is because then you will know good and evil and the darkness, right? I don't think it was ever God saying. And then in the storyline, the serpent said, but it's because God doesn't want you to be as powerful. No, he wanted to protect you from having to be part and see all of the wickedness. But it's too late. We're here. And we're here to learn, and we see clearly now. The manipulation. Stories. Okay. Should you receive this apple in your reading, it's time to look at how risks play in your life. Are you hedging your bets and not trying anything new? Do you want to change but not really willing to change anything? Willie, so name. Are you willing to risk? What are you willing to risk to get to a greater reward? Or alternatively, are you risking too much too often? And then the unnecessary fears of the graveyard and the dawn, the light after the darkness. Look at that. The wisdom, the owl. So we're moving through the shadow. That's what I see, of understanding that the fear of the night, the fear of the shadow, fear of the darkness. The light after darkness. Getting that Quentin Tarantino. That's a vampire movie. The ghost and regrets in reverse. Unnecessary fear of the graveyard. Mastering this. 33. 33. 34. This one is crazy to me, you guys, because like I'm saying, I was 33 when my mom passed away. And so that was a really understanding. She's Gemini, so I always see that also as communication. 33 is a mastery of overcoming fears, facing fears. What is the greatest fear of all? That's what I saw, especially with like the coronavirus freak out. The crown, the fear of death. That was ultimately it, right? Doesn't mean run into it, take precautions, be wise, but also trust. I think that's the thing. Once you face that and you find some peace and acceptance. I feel like we've done this before. I think Tauruses might have been doing this too, like last year or something. The stones, they mark the eternal resting place, yet the spirits, they are walking and they are ready for the chase. Today's modern graveyards are restful places, normally highly manicured and very well set out. Whilst they can be places of profound sadness, few are the creepy gothic places of old, yet they still hold an undercurrent of fear and seem frightening places. Due to the countless stories of haunted graveyards, the thought of walking through cemeteries evokes fear in many of us. We imagine zombies and ghosts rising from the graves and bad spirits hiding out, waiting to harm us, an unsuspecting living person who walks by. The idea of being at a graveyard after dark or worse at midnight is the stuff of dares and nightmares. But this isn't the way with every culture. On the Mexican Day of the Dead, this could be in November, right? Or, yeah, something like that. The whole family picnics on the graves of their loved ones who have passed, so it's a memorial, you understand. Children play upon the graves, people play music, drink wine, and share food, all in the company of the dead. Graveyard dust is used as an ingredient in protective spells. I don't know why, but my throat is itching. Someone doesn't want to speak about this or talk about this. I might have to split this up because I gotta go get a drink. I didn't bring one in. Libras. I need to go clear off my throat. I am doing some rose water. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so this card, know that your fear is unnecessary. Things are not as they seem, and you can overcome your obstacles. The anxieties you have, although real, should be put aside before they haunt you long term. Instead, trust you know the correct next steps and that you will act upon them. Okay, Libras. Looks like I'm going to give you a 7th one just because, and that's what I'll incorporate the tarots, because I got to go grab a drink to complete this. All right, so this one will be short and sweet, 37:07 on the clock. All right, thank you, Libras. Click that description box. Like I said, your 7th one will be with Beetlejuice, okay? And the Universal Monsters Tarot. Thank you so much, and happy birthday, Libras.